Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. I was speaking to a friend one day, and she was telling me how, well, actually, it was on Clubhouse, but we did speak outside of Clubhouse first. She was telling me how there were a number of people who spoke a good game and she was really ready to invest with them. But after giving everything to the lawyer, like I told her to, they discovered that the people did not have their LLCs registered anywhere at all. So someone else said that, you have to sometimes, especially if it's a black person, give them a pass because sometimes they just started up their business and they may not have the money or they may not have had the time to actually register their LLC anywhere. Okay, so this person, with all due respect, he is a very intelligent person. He's not necessarily a real estate investor, though. And I wanted to come in and say this. That may work in other industries, but I feel, thinking about it again, I feel that when it comes to real estate, I don't think you should do business with someone who has an LLC that's not registered, unless when they sign the paperwork, when they sign the contract, it's in their personal name as opposed to being in their business's name. Because if things go awry, you may want to get your money back. And the court might not honor the fact that, even though your business is legit, you chose to do business with a company that wasn't, especially when you went against your lawyer's advice. And then on top of that, before you even get to court, that same lawyer may not want to represent you. As a matter of fact, most lawyers, they might not want to necessarily represent you if you do something like that. Okay, because that honestly is due diligence number one. If someone says, this is my company and I want you to do business in my company with me, then on the contract, it has their company's name. If that company is not registered in any of the states in the United States or in any of the colonies or territories of the United States, then I would say to you, back out of that deal, or tell that person, once you get your business registered, then we can do business. But until then, because things can go left and not right, we are going to put it on pause. And I'd like to refer you guys to a video that I did where I mentioned how my friend, who has done real estate deals before, but he did not have any clauses in the contract, what is going to happen in case of death with one of the partners, and one of the partners died. So now he's trying to collect his money back because they didn't exactly put the money into like an escrow account or whatever. They just gave the money directly to the dude, right? And so the family wasn't really, they were aware that he did real estate deals, but they weren't aware of that particular deal. So that's one of the reasons why he's in court. Okay. But an LLC was formed and the guy's name is there. So it's more than likely that he is going to get his money back. It's just that because the guy also didn't have a will and all this other stuff, it's in probate. And probate takes a long time. There are some states where it's quick, but in a lot of states, especially when there's no will, especially when there's no trust for the family, and you have family coming out the woodwork saying that this money is mine or I deserve a piece, it can take a long time for the judges and the lawyers to sort things out. Okay? So, I mean, he's still in good standing, good footing for that reason. But I believe that if the LLC was not registered, I believe that that would probably delay things a whole lot more. Okay? And then, what if the person just runs off with the money and you need to sue them in order to get it back? It's not under their name. It's under a business name, a business that does not exist. How are you going to get that money back when nobody wants to represent you at that particular point? Or you're finding it hard to? Because listen, what I'm seeing across the board, a lot of lawyers are not lawyering anymore. They have left not just my firm, but a lot of lawyers have left law firms like all across the country. It is getting harder and harder to find a good attorney. And when you do find a good attorney, they have so many cases that they have to deal with that sometimes they can't even process your case right away. And then you have a lot of people that are leaving the country, right? They're leaving the country, they're going someplace else. And some of these countries, they don't necessarily cooperate with the United States in bringing that person back so that you can get your money from them. One such place is Thailand. Seems like most crooks, that's where they go. And I understand Thailand is very cheap. Thailand is very efficient in many ways. So, and the money goes a lot farther in many ways. But there's also a lot of underhanded criminal activity. There's a couple scams going on in Thailand as well, and some sex trafficking as well. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. It's not just that country. But let's just say it's a little bit well established there as opposed to many of the other countries. It is known to be a place that protects criminals, point blank and period. I'm not saying everybody is one that lives there. I'm just saying that many escape to that country to avoid penalties. Like the property manager that I had for that property that I bought in Clayton County, Georgia. Okay, so guys, yes, very, very, very important to make sure that a company is registered and it's still active, that it's not closed down, because some people do that. They'll have a company, they'll shut it down, and it may not update right away in the database, or it may update, but you have to look in the correct place to make sure that it's still active. Like you probably would want to check Duns and Bradstreet. Bizopedia is another site that I know that lets you know, and then also Instant Checkmate will let you know whether or not the site, excuse me, is still active. The business is still active, or if the business closed down. You understand me? You don't want to have a contract and the business is closed April 2024. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be very messy. And I'm not sure if you're going to get your money back. So, you know what? Maybe, the advice that he gave, maybe he's right. In certain businesses where there's not really much of a risk, where there's not really much of anything, and you know the person very well, you can do that. But in real estate, even if you know the person very well, please make sure that the LLC is registered in a state and that it's still active, state or territory or colony, and it's still active. Because as Kendrick Lamar says, a person may be black, but they might not be like us. All what we always say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. They don't have the same morals as you. They don't have the same flavorings as you. They don't walk the way you do, and they don't run the way you do just because they're black like you. And they might be black, but they might not necessarily be black like you. Because let's be real, there's a lot of people who, they look black on the outside, and by all definitions and everything, physical appearances and everything, they're black. But they don't acknowledge themselves as being black. They don't see themselves as being black. And some of them do and don't like being black. And all they want to do is hurt other black people. Because for some reason, hurt people. And for some reason, there are people who would put hurting another person over actually making money. Because I've seen so many deals where I'm like, damn, if they did what they were supposed to do, they would have made 3 times more money than what they ripped those people off from. But evidently, I guess maybe they're hurting, or maybe they just straight up crazy. I don't know. But please don't take that risk in real estate. Please don't. Okay? So guys, that's all I have for you. Hopefully the information that I shared will help you make smart financial moves. Feel free to pass this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.